Hello everyone, my name is Omar,
And my name is Analia.
and today we'll be talking about the opioid epidemic. So, a fact presented by Hoban through his research from 2017 is that the use of opioids in the United States is a problem to the nation, with nearly 40% of adults depending on addictive painkillers to overcome mental, emotional, and physical impairments.
We also found that opioid use is impeding the U.S. from growing, and the federal and the state government have had to intervene by donating money to states with the 21st Century Cures Act. And they're donating money for 2 years total in order to assist in treating the issue. And there are several centers that are helping, like the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Food and Drug Administration, the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Department of Justice, and they're all helping to fix the problem. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention also released guidelines for opioid prescription in order to help people understand how they're supposed to take these drugs and not overuse them.
Yeah, now, so the states that are among the highest in opioid usage, according to Hoban, are the Dakotas, which include North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Wisconsin, Missouri, West Virginia, and Kentucky. And also, narcotics overdose is the eighth leading cause of death within 1 week of an emergency room visit.
The Department of Health and Human Services also found that nearly three-quarters of states saw an unprecedented number of children entering foster care. Parental substance use was cited as a primary reason. So basically, the parents of these children are overusing drugs and are unable to care for their own kids. And the result of that is these kids are having to go into foster care.
Correct. Now, so according to Kuhn, the epidemic began between the years 1999 to 2002, and three major opioid prescriptions increased drastically. Those were oxycodone prescriptions that increased 50% to 29 million prescriptions in 2002. Fentanyl prescriptions increased 150% to 4.6 million prescriptions. Morphine prescriptions increased 60% to 3.8 million prescriptions, um, which is that kind of like gave a boost to the epidemic, and that they took off from there.
And the percentages of prescription treatments with drugs are highest among pain medicine, so that's 49%. For surgery, 39%. And physical medicine and rehab, 36%. And that was found by the for Disease Control and Prevention.
And although also, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, although opioid prescriptions can reduce types of pain, there's really no significant evidence to prove that they improve chronic pain or function and quality of life.
We also found that these drugs are impacting children. For example, in 1 to 5-year-olds, methadone accounted for 19.5% of opioids ingested, indicating that increased risk to young children when parents or family members are being treated for their own opioid addiction or abusing methadone themselves.
And in 2015, 50,000 Americans died from overdose. And from those overdose, 33,000, which adds up to 63%, of the 50,000 were from opioids, according to Ryan.
And the financial cost that opioid epidemic is costing to the United States is absence in the workforce has increased where more opioids are prescribed. So basically, people are unable to pass drug tests and they're being rejected from jobs. And also we found that many people that take opioids say that they can't hold a full-time job, so they're filing for retirement or for disability, or they're just not working at all because they're unable to.
Yeah, and now to talk a little bit about the rehab. so treatments for opioid addictions. So there's some rehab that range from for $1,000, and those are detox. And then there's some that range from $10,000 to $60,000, and those are for 90+ day rehab centers. And they provide necessary supplies, including food, and they also provide, if those expenses are too pricey for you, they could send you to another rehab that have lower prices. And also your insurance, so Medi-Cal, Medicare, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, they could all be used and help pay for those costs.
And the therapeutic community claims that 30% of users that go get clean remain clean. So rehab can be very effective.
And then just for those, I know people say that doctors are the ones that overprescribe medicine and the leading, and the reason why there's an epidemic in the first place. Well, now the state of Florida has passed a legislation that establishes standards for physicians who prescribe narcotic-grade pills. And so they increase the penalties for physicians who overprescribe narcotics to a minimum of $10,000 and a 6-month license suspension. And that was provided by Chakravarthi Shah and Pathipior
In 2012.
so.
Thank you.
And don't forget to read our fact sheet, and hope you enjoy it.